What's good, Tamers? Today we're bringing you a match between MetalGarurumon and Azulongmon. This was played at our locals at Chaos Games in Minot, North Dakota. Let's get into the game. So the purple player starts off by hatching a Azulongmon, and looking at their hand, it looks like they might have missed their rookie, so they go ahead and play Ginkakumon, passing the memory over to 5 to the blue player. Really setting them up to Digivolve into whatever they need to, honestly. So they go on to the Upamon with Balukamon, having that nice inheritable, gaining 1 memory whenever they trash a Digivolution source. And it seems like the blue player's thinking for a bit. Seems there was a Pale Dramon, but they go into Colamon instead for 1, only dropping them down to 4, and really allowing them to go up to whatever ultimate that they need. But here they're playing the blue memory boost. We apologize for the glare. That's actually going to be fixed later on. But it looks like from there they pull out an Azulongmon, so setting themselves up for the Mega, knowing now that they have it, and that extra memory if they need it, and then going straight into the Howling Memory Boost, really just rendering the Ginkakumon at this point, not able to do anything. And looks like Purple doesn't have a rookie, so they go ahead and Digivolve for 3 into the Cerberusmon Werewolf mode. This is one with 9,000 DP, so pretty strong Digimon, as it's not able to attack anyway due to the Howling Memory Blast. This play leaves the blue player with 1 memory, and really only able to gain more if they decide they want to pop those memory boosts that they have in the back, or Digivolve into an ultimate and pass the turn. So let's go ahead and see what they do. And it looks like the blue player is going to go ahead and Digivolve into Majirumon. This is going to actually trash that Digivolution source underneath Werewolf mode, and it should actually leave the purple player at 1 memory for Balukamon's inheritable ability. When they trash a Digivolution source, they should gain 1 memory. But purple player is going to attack in, and it looks like they hit a Joe. This is going to help with the memory for the blue player later on in the game, and then Digivolving into an Ogremon on top of the Gabumon, not getting its on play effect, but that's okay, as they are setting up to what looks like another stack in the back row, and then playing a Fly Bullet to get rid of the Majirumon. That's pretty devastating, as we all know the Azulongmon is in the blue player's hands, so now they have to start the stack from the beginning all the way in the raising area, giving the purple player time. And we see a hard-called Pale Dramon coming out for 5, and followed by a Colamon. So this is just going to put up another blocker. Once again, that 9,000 DP on the Cerberus mode, or Werewolf mode Cerberusmon, is just very powerful, letting it swing into the security without really having to worry about anything other than Megas. And as you see there, it hits another level 5 and doesn't feel anything. And then the purple player goes into a mat, pulling back the Fly Bullet into their hand. Looks like they're going to be waiting for another stack to be happening, Digivolving into the Werewolf mode in the back, just once again setting up another Mega to continue on the offense. So the blue player has a decent amount of memory as well as the memory boost, both of those sitting in the back row. So let's see what they decided they want to go into. Going into the Crisp Pale Dramon, not having the effect of the Digivolution, but drawing a card, getting the blue player something more in their hand so they can start building and mounting an offense. It looks like they might have missed a rookie, and that's what they're searching for, as we do see the Kaporimon still in the raising area, and the blue player has popped both memory boosts, setting themselves up to 4 memory, which represents a solid Azulongmon play. Let's see if that's what they want to go with. And we do see them Digivolve on top of the Crisp Pale Dramon, only costing 4 due to Werewolf mode not having any Digivolution sources. So they're going to go ahead and swing in, checking 3. So that's pretty devastating. First one's going to be the Mimisora. Second is going to be Call from the Underworld. So this is actually going to be able to bring back a Digimon. And we do see the Ginkakumon come back. However, the interaction with this, because it doesn't have any Digivolution sources, there should be an additional check. However, it is not going to affect the rest of the game. But we will be mindful of that next time. And then we see the Balukamon Digivolved in the back row, drawing a card. But at this point, the blue player is pretty even with the purple player, and you can just tell how powerful Azulongmon is with that 1 interaction, checking 3 security and living through all of it, evening up the game. And it seems that blue's just going to hard pass a turn to the purple player, leaving them with 3 memory. We see them promote the Cerberusmon Werewolf mode, or the second one that has a stack underneath it, and then going into the level 6 MetalGarurumon. This one is a pretty powerful card, and it's able to let you play 7 cost options or lower for just Digibursting 2, and we see that Fly Bullet that was recently brought into the hand come out and take out the Azulongmon, which was a super threat, and pretty much for free at this point, leaving the security pretty much wide open except for that Colamon. We see a Gabumon getting hit from the security. Here we see a few effects going off with the attacking in of the werewolf mode, just resolving the Sora Mimi. So drawing a card and pitching a card. Then we got the attack declaration by the MetalGarurumon. This is going to do the same thing with the Gabumon underneath of drawing a card and pitching a card. The Skullgreymon going underneath Ginkaku from pitching itself, which its card effect allows it to go under a purple Digimon. Then hitting the Absolute Blast would be able to remove a Digivolution source from a card, and then bouncing a card with no Digivolution source underneath it. And we see that the Werewolf mode was the card that the Azulongmon player went to go for, as it was pretty strong. And then we see the Digiburst for 2 to get the Necrophobia to call back the Cerberus Werewolf mode, which does have Rush, and it is not an on-play effect. So they swing in, hitting what looks like a Hex Blow, so deleting it. And then we have the Ginkakumon at 5,000, going to swing in and trade with the Colamon, just clearing the board from all of Blue's Digimon and leaving Purple in a very advantageous state and at 0 memory. And they're going to go ahead and play another Mimi and Sora. So this is just going to help with that drawing and trashing cards, as well as if this Belucamon is Digivolved on top of now past a level 4, then the purple player is just going to get 4 memory on top of the 3 that's reset from the mat. With removal being the priority for blue in this situation, we see a Marin Chimeramon coming out, bouncing the Belucamon back to the Azulongmon player's hand, and also getting rid of the MetalGarurumon, and then from there we just see a pass to 3. However, with the Mimi Soras out on the field, we're going to see the purple player go to 7 and giving them a lot of memory. Gabumon coming out on top of the Demimeramon, and then going into a Dobermon. Pretty vanilla champion, pretty powerful though with a 7,000 DP. And then we see the Fly Bullet coming out and taking care of the level 5. So no chance for blue to go into a Mega at this point, and they need to quickly build up, and looks like they're probably going to be fishing for some sort of blocker, as they need to have one on the field for next turn. And we see them looking at their hand, so it's probably a good sign that they don't have one. Just one more Digivolution, see if they can draw into a Colamon or anything like that, and they cannot, and that's going to be game 1. Here we go, start of game 2, and it looks like the purple player is going to go first, hatching a Demimeramon in the back. And then Digivolving into a Gabumon. Great card for this type of deck, especially with being able to attack and draw one and then pitch one. And then we see a hard calling of a Guillemon, possibly wanting to use this effect later on, and maybe didn't have the ultimate or the level 5 in hand, so just setting up some board presence. The blue player going into the Gabumon, and then Paledramon from there, so not getting the effect, but building up a back row, possibly going into an ultimate for this turn so that they can set up a Mega on turn 2 for themselves. Right now, the purple player doesn't really have any Digivolution sources on the field, so not able to really get those cards' effects from the Digivolution on the play for the blue player. We see the Gabumon being pushed up to the battle area, and then swinging in, probably hoping that it gets destroyed so that the Demimeramon can draw cards. From this, it looks like they're probably missing some champions on the purple side, and just needing to get some cards in hand, so that Demimeramon is really good for that. Looks like the purple player is going to figure out what they want to do. Right now, they just have a Guillemon up front with nothing else in the back row or the raising area, so it looks like they don't have a whole bunch of offensive options, but they're going to go ahead and swing with the Guillemon, and surprisingly it survives, hitting a Howling Memory Boost. And then they just play the Sora and Mimi, passing the turn to the blue player for 2, setting them up for that. But they do have the Chris Paledramon in the back row, which you see them promote. And now they have a couple different options that they can go with. But they go with popping the Howling Memory Boost and Digivolving on top of the Chris Paledramon. So now the Hex Blaumon does have jamming because the Guillemon does not have any Digivolution sources. And they're going to be able to tech 2 if they hit into the security, which they go ahead and swing in. And we see the first being a Underworld Call, bringing back that Gabumon from earlier, and then the next one being a Fly Bullet. That is very unfortunate for the Hex Blaumon player. Really just resetting the game for them, putting them at 1 memory, but not really having anything else on the board, so they go ahead and play a Colamon. At this point, the purple player now has 5 memory. They're going to hatch a Sunamon in the back row, Digivolving into a Gabumon. Looking like they're setting up a stack now in the back row with the Ogremon. Not getting that on-play effect once again, but still setting up for a good push into getting a Mega. And we do see the level 5 Cerberusmon coming out on top of the Ogremon, just making that a solid stack to Digivolve onto, setting up a Mega for future turns. But now there's 2 rookies up front and the Mimi Sora, so they swing in with the Guillemon, hitting a Gabumon, and drawing 1, and pitching a card, which we see them pitching a Gabumon, so maybe their hand was full of rookies for this whole turn, and just correcting that the Guillemon would have been put to the trash because of the Gabumon that it hit earlier, and just Digivolving on top of the Gabumon with the Dobermon, passing the turn to the blue player. So we do see the Belucamon going into the raising area now. Looks like they're going to try and build a stack now. We got a Colamon going on top of the Belucamon, and it looks like they might be missing a level 5. So we do see the blue player play the blue memory boost, searching for that level 5 and getting into the ultimate, but missing it with the 4 cards that are just revealed. That is highly unfortunate. So they're going to have to go ahead and take the level 4 and just put those to the bottom of the deck. This will pass the turn over to the purple player with 2 memory, and now they have some pretty offensive options that they can go with. They do have that Dobermon on top of the Gabumon, as well as the Mimikyu. It's going to draw them pretty much 2 cards and pitching 2, so we do see that 7,000 DP rookie or champion going into the Colamon, popping that as well as drawing 2 cards and pitching 2 cards. So you got a lot of draw power with this purple, and you're able to swing in pretty freely without having to worry about being outmatched when it comes to the DP of each Digimon that it's swinging into. Then the purple player goes into the Madishita, setting it up to bring back a card to their hand. Looks like they're wanting to pull the Fly Bullet back, and then changing their mind and going for the Hell's Gate. So lower cost to get rid of a level 6. Looks like they're preparing for maybe a later turn where the blue player might get into a Mega so that they're able to deal with that. But you notice that they left the Cerberusmon in the raising area, possibly to just set up that Mega play that they might want later on in the game and they don't have in their hand currently. So blue players at 4 memory, popping the memory boost and dropping a level 4 and then a Sora Joe. So this is going to help them with their memory, especially being able to attack in with their blue Digimon and trashing some of those Digivolution sources that are pretty important for the purple player. And it looks like Dobermon's going to go ahead and swing in. Once again, 7,000 DP, but it's going to trigger a couple different effects. So the draw 1, pitch 1 looks like it got a Skull Greymon underneath it. So now this Dobermon has retaliation as well as 7,000 DP, so it's pretty swingy dog at this point. And then we have, looks like there's just some thoughts on whether or not to swing with the Cerberusmon, but Cerberusmon Werewolf mode comes out, so popping that, drawing 2, pitching 1, and just refilling that hand there and getting the cards necessary. So the purple player is still at 3 memory with that, and there's a choice to either swing in with the Werewolf mode that has Rush, which they do, hitting a Majiramon in the security, so going to survive that. Once again, 9,000 DP for an ultimate is pretty tough, so you're able to just swing in and pretty much know that it's going to live unless it hits a Mega. And then Digivolving the Dobermon into the Cerberusmon, representing a lot of draw power on the board now for the purple player, but we do see them go into a Mega, and it's the MetalGarurumon. So with the Skull Greymon underneath it actually gives it 4 Digivolution sources, so it's able to use this Digiburst twice. However, passing the turn over to the blue player with 5 memory thanks to that Sora Joe. So we see the Marin Chimeramon Digivolved on top of the level 4, and it looks like they're going to try and swing. This is smart, going to get rid of 2 Digivolution sources from the MetalGarurumon so that it can't activate twice and play 2 options, and then a clash between 2 7,000 DP Digimon. So that Dobermon really doing work, taking out an ultimate in the security, and that stops the Hex Blaumon play, which could have been what saved the blue player. So you see them think for a little bit, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and concede not having a blocker, and that's going to be game number 2. Well, Tamers, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as it really helps us out. But until next time, let's get that gate closed.